Hello students, today we are going to learn about the transcription. After replication, the DNA has been replicated. Now the DNA, whatever information is present with the DNA will pass that information to the RNA, and this process is called transcription. And in this process, the messenger RNA will take the information, and the information which is present on the messenger RNA then get translated into the proteins. That is, the different amino acids come together and they form the proteins. So this is how the information flows. Transcription is the process of formation of RNA from the DNA. So DNA is giving its genetic information to the RNA molecule. And during transcription, only a segment of DNA from only one of the strands participates. This is very important. Strands. And out of these two strands, only one strand of DNA will participate in transcription process, and that too only one segment of the DNA. So only one of the strands will participate in the process of transcription. Now both strands are not copied during transcription. Why both strands are not copied? Because if both strands are copied, then how many RNAs will be formed? 2 RNA will be formed. So these 2 RNA will give two proteins, so 2 traits. That means one DNA fragment, one DNA segment can give 2 traits. That is not possible. Another thing which can happen is these 2 RNA are complementary to each other, because they have been formed from two strands of the DNA. So what will happen? They will, by the base pairing, complementary base pairing, they will form the double-stranded RNA. So that's why both strands are not copied. This is very important question. Why both strands are not copied during transcription? Because if both strands get transcribed at the same time, since the sequence of amino acid would be different in both due to complement, then 2 RNA molecules with different sequences will be formed. And which in both strands are copied, then what would happen? Both the strands would form the RNA molecules, and 2 RNA molecules with different sequences will be formed, and these 2 different RNA molecules will give 2 different proteins. Therefore one DNA will give the 2 different proteins, which is not possible, which is not correct also, because one DNA has got the information, the one segment of DNA has got the information for one trait only. Another thing which will happen is 2 RNA molecules so formed will be complementary to each other. So hence both would end up forming a double-stranded RNA. So leaving the entire process of transcription futile. The entire process of transcription will fail if both the strands of DNA will give the RNA. So only one strand is having the making the template for the formation of RNA. So one RNA molecule is formed from the 2 strands. Only one strand is the template. Now, what is a transcriptional unit? This transcriptional unit has primarily 3 regions. One is promoter. Promoter is the beginning of the transcription, from where the transcription begins. Like in replication also we saw that the whole whole strands of DNA will not replicate simultaneously. Similarly, the whole DNA will not transcribe into RNA, only a specific region, and that specific region of DNA which is going to transcribe into the RNA is known as transcriptional unit. And this transcriptional unit is having three basic regions. One is promoter. Promoter, as the name suggests, it promotes, it starts, marks the beginning of the transcription. And RNA polymerase is the enzyme which is helping in the formation of RNA. So here the enzyme which is responsible for formation of RNA is RNA polymerase. So RNA polymerase will come and bind here at the promoter, from where the beginning of the transcription occurs. Now the structural gene. What is structural gene? The region of the DNA between promoter and terminator. So promoter is the region from where the transcription starts, and terminator is the region where the transcription ends. And between these two regions, the segment, the strand of the DNA is called structural gene. So what is structural gene? Structural gene is the part of the DNA that is actually transcribed, and terminator marks the end of the transcription. Now, the DNA is having two strands. So now these two strands, out of these two strands, as I told you, only one will be forming the RNA. With the help of the one, the RNA will be formed. So that is called the template strand. And this template strand, the RNA polymerase also catalyzes in one direction, that is from 5 prime to 3 prime. So the strand which is having the polarity from 3 prime to 5, it acts as a template strand. So out of two strands of DNA, one strand is having polarity 5 to 3 and one is having 3 to 5. Because this RNA polymerase, which is also called DNA dependent RNA polymerase. Now this RNA polymerase also functions in only one direction as DNA polymerase, and into which direction? 5 to 3. So that means it can only form continuous base pairing complementary can happen only when the template strand is having 3 to 5 polarity. So the strand of the DNA which is having 3 to 5 polarity acts as a template strand, and the strand with polarity 5 to 3, the other strand, which is acts as coding strand. Now it is called coding strand, which is a misnomer. Misnomer means it has got no sense. It is coding strand is not coding for anything. Actually, the coding is done by the template strand, and the complementary base pairing is done on the RNA as per the template strand, not as per the coding strand. But it is called as coding strand, and it does not, since it does not code for anything, but still it is called coding strand. Now, coding strand has one significance, that whatever the points we refer is always as per the coding strand. Now, suppose I am saying 5 prime end of the structural gene. So that means 5 prime end of the coding strand. If I am saying 3 prime end of the structural gene, so that means always from the coding strand. But there is no code, does not code for anything for the RNA. Only the reference is made from the coding strand. And this coding strand has sequence similar to RNA formed after transcription. Why? Because the transcription is done from the template strand, and template strand is having the sequence of nitrogenous bases, and the complementary base pairing would form the same bases, sequence of the bases similar to the RNA formed. But what would be the difference here? Because the formed strand is RNA, here the thymine will change, and which is formed, it will be having uracil, and the other code of the DNA would be having thymine. This you will be getting more explanation when we'll do the diagram part. Now see this. This is one DNA. Now this DNA is having 3' to 5' strand, and this is 5' to 3' strand. Okay. Now where will be the promoter? Promoter will be here. Why? Because the RNA polymerase, which is the enzyme responsible for formation of RNA, can work only in 5 to 3 direction. So it will work only in this direction. So this would be the template strand. The template strand would be 3' to 5'. And the other strand is called coding strand. Now this coding strand does not code for anything, but the name is coding strand. Now what coding strand, the points are referred from coding strand. For example, if I am saying this is the structural gene, the portion in between the promoter and terminator, this portion of the DNA is called structural gene. Now what happened if I'm saying 5' end of the structural gene? That means 5' of the coding strand. 3' of the structural gene, coding strand 3'. So this is the coding strand only refers the points. Now what is gene? Till now we know that chromosome is made up of DNA, and on DNA there are genes. But what actually are genes? Now genes are what? The DNA sequence is the gene. The DNA itself is the gene. The sequence which codes for transfer RNA or ribosomal RNA, that can be defined as a gene. The gene is that one, the sequence of the nitrogenous bases on DNA which are coding for protein, one protein. So that is gene. Now this gene is cistron. Another term is cistron. Now what is cistron? Cistron is segment of DNA that contains the genetic code for a single polypeptide. What is polypeptide? Protein. Amino acids are joined together by peptide bonds. And many amino acids joined together by peptide bond, they form polypeptide. And polypeptide is protein. So the segment of the DNA which is coding for a single protein, that is called cistron. And the structural gene can be of two types. Now this is structural gene can be of two types. It can code for a single protein, that is monocistronic. Monocistronic means mostly in eukaryotes it is monocistronic. Monocistronic means consisting of one cistron. And if it can be polycistronic. Polycistronic means many cistron. So this happens mostly in prokaryotes. In prokaryotes, you will find the structural gene having polycistron, many cistron on it. But in eukaryotes, the structural gene is consisting of only one cistron. That's why it is called monocistronic. Now, these monocistronic genes, they have two parts. One is exon, that is the sequences that code for a particular character and is expressed in a mature and processed messenger RNA. That means monocistronic genes are having two parts. In eukaryotes, the monocistronic genes are present, and these monocistronic genes are having two parts. Exon is the sequence which is coding for a particular character. That means it is coding for a particular protein. Whereas there are interrupting sequences which do not code for any protein, and they are called introns. So two things are present on monocistronic genes, exon and intron. Exon are coding for the protein, whereas intron do not code. They only interrupt the sequences and do not appear in the mature and processed RNA. There are regulatory genes also. Now, these regulatory genes, they do not code for anything, but they regulate the functioning of the structural genes. Now, these regulatory genes can be present before the promoter, they can be present after the terminator. So, these regulatory genes are to regulate this function. So, they are called regulatory genes. Now, how many types of RNA are there? There are three types of RNA: messenger RNA, transfer RNA, and ribosomal RNA. Messenger RNA serves as a template for protein synthesis. That means when the transcription takes place from the template of the DNA, messenger RNA is formed. So what is messenger RNA is doing? Messenger RNA is taking the genetic message to form the protein. So it serves as a template for protein synthesis. DNA is transcribed to form messenger RNA, which in turn is translated to form protein. So this is central dogma, DNA to messenger RNA to protein. Now, transfer RNA, what is the function of transfer RNA? Transfer RNA brings amino acids. It transfers the amino acids from different places of the cell to the place where the protein is synthesized. So it brings amino acids during translation and reads the genetic code. That is the function of transfer RNA. Now, the third type of RNA is ribosomal RNA. If you remember from 9th standard when you were doing the cell, when you are writing the function of ribosome, you used to write protein synthesis. So, this ribosomal RNA are in the ribosomes and they are the workbenches. They are the sites where they play a structural and catalytic role during translation. So they actually are the sites where translation takes place, where synthesis of protein takes place. Clear? Now we'll see how this transcription occurs. Now transcription has three steps. One is initiation, then elongation, and then termination. Now we saw the transcription unit has three regions: promoter, structural gene, and terminator. So promoter is for this initiation, structural gene will elongate and transcribe, and termination with the terminator. Now initiation, RNA polymerase. RNA polymerase is the enzyme responsible for formation of RNA. So RNA polymerase binds with the promoter to initiate the process of transcription. Now RNA polymerase will bind with the promoter and then the polymerase, it starts polymerization reaction by taking the sequences, the nitrogenous sequences. Now, association with initiation factor. Now, initiation factor is what? Which is present at the promoter region, and this is sigma factor. This factor is called sigma factor. This alters the specificity of RNA polymerase to initiate. That means what is the function of this initiation factor, which is sigma factor? It initiates that process of transcription by telling the RNA polymerase that yes, this is the region to begin. So they specify the region for the RNA polymerase to initiate the work of transcription. The second process is elongation. RNA polymerase uses nucleotide triphosphate as substrate. Similarly, as DNA replication, the nucleotide triphosphates are required as substrate, and polymerization occurs according to the complementarity. What is complementarity? as per the base pairing complementary base pairing. So as per the complementary base pair, the polymerization will take place. Now the third process which takes place in the transcription is termination. Now what is termination? Termination is that region where the process of transcription ends. So this termination occurs when termination factor. There is another factor which is called rho factor. Initiation factor was sigma factor. Termination factor is rho factor. This alters the specificity of RNA polymerase. Now, what is this factor doing? It is altering, it is changing the specificity of the RNA polymerase, and it is giving signal to RNA polymerase to stop the transcription process. So, here the transcription process stops. As the RNA polymerase proceeds to perform elongation, a short stretch of RNA remains bound to the enzyme. As the enzyme, now what happened? The RNA polymerase is there, and our RNA polymerase is performing the polymerization. Now this with the RNA polymerase, the stretch of RNA is there, binded with that. Now, as the enzyme reaches the termination region, this nascent RNA falls off and the transcription is terminated. This nascent RNA, the new RNA which is being formed, will fall off from the segment of the DNA, and the transcription is completed. The transcription is terminated. Now just look at the diagrams for more clarification. Just see this. This is the segment of DNA which is going to transcribe. Now this is 3 to 5 prime, and this is 5 to 3 prime. Clear? Now which segment, which strand will act as a template? 3 to 5. Why? Because this is RNA polymerase enzyme. Now this RNA polymerase enzyme can function only in 5 to 3 direction. So what happens? That when this RNA polymerase will bind to the promoter region, and at the 3 to 5 strand of the DNA, because it can function only in the direction of 5 to 3. And the other fragment, the other strand of the DNA is called coding strand. So one is template strand, another is coding strand, and this is initiation process. In initiation process, this RNA polymerase enzyme will come and get binded with the promoter region, and there is one factor sigma. This factor sigma specifies the RNA polymerase to start the transcription. Now what will happen? This is elongation, the second process. Elongation is that the two strands of the DNA will get separated, and when they get separated, this RNA polymerase will move on the template strand and will transcribe the RNA. So RNA will start forming because of this polymerase enzyme. Now this is RNA, the yellow thing which has come. Now the third is termination. Now once this process is over, once the RNA polymerase enzyme reaches the terminator region of the DNA segment, then there is another factor which is called rho factor. Now this rho factor, it again specifies the RNA polymerase to stop the transcription, and here the transcription would stop at the terminator region, and this is the nascent RNA which is being formed after this transcription. So what happened? This will fall off. This will fall off, and the transcription is complete. at terminator region. Now, what are the complexities which are associated with the this transcription process? In prokaryotes, now in prokaryotes there is no well-defined nucleus. So what happened? There is no clear demarcation where is the cytoplasm and where is the nucleus. So what happened when the translation is taking the transcription is taking place? At the same time, the translation can also start. So in prokaryotes, transcription and translation, they both can coupled with each other. These both processes can go on simultaneously, because in eukaryotes, what happened? First, the transcription takes place, and in this transcription, the messenger RNA is formed, and this messenger RNA comes from the nucleus to the cytoplasm. It will come out of the nucleus, and then in the cytoplasm, the process of translation takes place. But in case of prokaryotes, as there is no well-defined nucleus, what happens when the process of transcription is taking place, when the RNA is being formed, the RNA can simultaneously start the making of protein as well. So transcription and translation, they can be simultaneous in case of prokaryotes, not in eukaryotes. In case of prokaryotes, this can happen, that transcription and translation are coupled. They can take place simultaneously. In eukaryotes, in case of prokaryotes, there is only one type of RNA polymerase which is helping in the process of polymerization of the RNA, and that is transcription. But in eukaryotes, there are three different types of RNA polymerases, and these RNA polymerases are having different functions. Now, what happened? RNA polymerase 1 is the polymerase, is the enzyme which is transcribing ribosomal RNA. Then there is RNA polymerase 2. This is the main polymerase enzyme which is transcribing HNS, heterogeneous nuclear RNA. HNS, heterogeneous nuclear RNA. Now, heterogeneous nucleus RNA is the precursor of messenger RNA. Precursor means first this heterogeneous nuclear RNA will be formed, and then after some processing, this hnRNA will get converted into messenger RNA. So this RNA polymerase 2 is transcribing heterogeneous nuclear RNA, and this heterogeneous nuclear RNA will form the messenger RNA after some changes. And this third type of enzyme is RNA polymerase 3. Now, this is transcribing transfer RNA, small nuclear RNA, and small ribosomal RNA. So, these are the RNAs which are formed by RNA polymerase 3, tRNA, snRNA, and srRNA. Now, the precursor of messenger RNA, that is heterogeneous nuclear RNA, it is consisting of two, intron and exon, as we have already discussed. Then in monocistronic genes, two regions can be there, intron and exon. Exons are the region which are going to code for protein, and introns are the region which are not coding for any protein. These are the interrupting sequences of the nitrogenous bases which are not coding for anything. So these introns have to be removed, and these exons will join together, and this process is called splicing. This process is called splicing. So first of all, this heterogeneous nuclear RNA will undergo splicing. Splicing means it will remove its introns. So what will be now? The RNA is left with only exons which are joined together. So first process is splicing. Second process is capping. Now in capping, what happened? Methyl guanosine triphosphate. Now this methyl guanosine triphosphate will be added to the 5' end of the heterogeneous nuclear RNA. So this methyl guanosine triphosphate will come and get attached to the heterogeneous nuclear RNA. This is called capping. Cap like it puts its cap. And what is the cap? The cap is methyl guanosine triphosphate. Now it will put its tail also, and tail would be at the 3' end, and this tail is of adenylate residues. So these adenylate residues will come and they are added to the 3' end of the heterogeneous nuclear RNA. Now these three processes, splicing, capping and tailing. These three processes are converting heterogeneous nuclear RNA into messenger RNA. So when heterogeneous nuclear RNA is fully processed means splicing is done, capping is done, tailing is done. After these three processes are done on heterogeneous nuclear RNA, what is the result? The result is messenger RNA. Now this messenger RNA is the RNA, the mature RNA, which is transported out of the nucleus. Now all these things are taking place in the nucleus, because all these things are taking place only in eukaryotes, not in prokaryotes. So in eukaryotes, all these things are taking place in the monosystron structural gene, and after these three processes, messenger RNA is formed. Now this messenger RNA will come out of the nucleus and it is now ready for translation. That means for the protein synthesis. Now see this, how this process is taking place. And when this RNA is coming out, we are talking about eukaryotes. When this RNA, this is the terminator region, and once the terminator region comes, the rho factor which is present at the terminator will specify the RNA polymerase to stop the transcription. Now once this transcription is stopped, this will come out, this will fall off, the RNA will fall off. Now this RNA is having exon as well as intron. Exon is yellow in color, intron is orange in color. So what will happen? We have to remove the intron, because introns are not coding for anything, only they are interrupting sequences. Exon are the sequences which are coding for protein. So only exons are required. So these introns will come out. And what we are left with? Only exons. So these all exons will be joined together. And at the same time, at 5' end, methyl guanosine triphosphate, this will come and cap it. So it will cap it here, and here the polyadenylation will take place. So this will, the adenylate residues will come and they will add it to the 3' end. So this is called tailing. So it will have a cap and it will have a tail. And now it is ready to move to the cytoplasm from the nucleus. So this is the RNA which is going to translate into protein. So this is called messenger RNA. And this is called heterogeneous nuclear RNA. Now this heterogeneous nuclear RNA, after splicing, capping and tailing, will form the messenger RNA. So this messenger RNA is the mature RNA which will come out of the nucleus, and then it will go to the cytoplasm, and in the cytoplasm the process of protein formation starts with the help of transfer RNA and ribosomal RNA. Now see this. These are the two strands of DNA, the coding strand and template strand, and this is RNA polymerase, the enzyme which is required, and this enzyme will come, get itself binded with the promoter region, and it will start the polymerization, and it will terminate the transcription process at terminator. And what is coming out is the messenger RNA. Now see this. This is 5 prime to 3 prime, and this is 3 prime to 5 prime. So which would be the template strand? This would be the template strand because it is 3 to 5, and the process of the RNA polymerase can function only from 5 to 3. So what will happen? It will form the complementary, by complementary base pairing, it will form the RNA. Now see, this is T, so A. This is A. Now this is RNA. So RNA will not have thymine. RNA will have uracil in spite of thymine. So if here it is A, here it will be U. C, G, G, C, G, C. So C, G, D, T. What is this? G, C, A, A. A, G, A, U, A, U. U, C, U. A, C. So it will be U, G. Now A, U, U. So this is how the complementary base pairing, because of the complementary base pairing, the RNA is formed by RNA polymerase, and this is the RNA which will fall off once the polymerase reaches the terminator region. So this is all about transcription, how